All right, just getting some last minute stuff done for my case over here, and we got to talk about. We got a new policy on our website, which is going to be not coming to effect. But let me turn this TV down the back. TV, projection screen. Hold on for a minute. All right, so what we're going to start doing is we're going to have a 32 to 72 container policy, which means we're only going to make a certain amount of a certain amount of screen paint every week. We're talking we max out at 32 anyway. 32 to, we max out around 32 to around 72. So what we're going to start doing is we're going to basically have two things. We're either going to have, we max out and we sell all 32 containers, or we basically, we're going to max out all 32 containers, or basically we deplete all 32 containers. It's going to be one of those. So bottom line is we max out to 32 to 72 containers a week. And I think how we're going to do it is we're going to do it basically, we're going to order a certain amount of containers every week. That's it. So we're going to do 32. That's going to be the end. Once the 32 deplete, then we're basically just going to do the ship out date for the next day. It keeps things in perspective view on not wasting too much money on ordering way too many containers, or just having just tons of containers laying around for the sake of it. So what we're going to do is basically minimize on costs on certain things. We're just going to have it where we're going to have like we're going to order so many containers for that week, and once they deplete, then we're just going to start to ship out for the next week. All right. So bottom line, like say if you order from us, we have 32 containers right there to be ordered. You can be part of that 32 containers or 72 containers, and then once they have depleted, then any orders from that will actually pass over to next week, because we'll have to order new containers again. All right, just trying to put that out there because it's an easier way for us to save money. While I'm doing that, I got to get this finished off right here because I like to show some of this stuff off. A few people have asked me about this box I'm over here working on, and just the good paint or the bad paint. I don't know if I think I got enough of it. I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to work on some of this right here today to get this out of the way so I can get my projector upstairs, because it's the only thing that's holding back my projector from upstairs. It's just this thing right here. So while I'm doing this, I can talk about a few crazy things that just happened to me a few minutes ago. Crazy things. I'm telling you, sometimes I love my customers and all, but I swear there's some of them out there that bottom line is it makes me think that what the freak and why am I still doing this for a living? I just got into, I'm not going to mention the name of it, but I literally just got into an argument. Where's my scissors at? Where are my scissors? Gotta cut this. I'm scissors upstairs. I was working on something. Got a knife down here to finish this off with? Please tell me get everything here. I don't mind, but I mean, but come on. I mean, some of the discussions I have are like a little crazy. So, anyway, and I think I'm going to put this policy on the website too. That container policy on the website, because there's no use in ordering tons of containers. We're just going to do a certain amount every week, and the ones we do every week, it's going to be around. We're going to do like probably about 32 containers. I max out at 32 at 72, and that's it. That's all we're going to do. When those containers are completed, anybody who's a part of the 72 or 32, you'll be shipped out on Friday. The next batch orders will come in every Monday. That's how we're going to do it. All right. I'm going to work on this for a bit. Get this part taken care of and get it done so I can get my projector upstairs and mount it so I can get it done. That'll give me a chance to talk about what I want to talk about. Whether you're here or not, still want to talk about it. All right, so people, when you call me up asking me about the product, common sense, please. I mean, I really would appreciate it at the end of the day. Some of the conversations I have sometimes with some people, boy, just makes me scratch the top of my head. And I got to wonder what the freak is going on. So I had a conversation. I'm not going to say anything because that's their personal business. I don't mention people's names or no. They only like to pay people when it comes to videotaping. I'm showing off their videos. I don't like to talk about their business or not talk about their business. But I don't like the, what's the word for it? I'm trying to bring it up. I don't like the, whatchamacallit. I don't like to say their names or hear their voices or whatever. So a customer contacts me and we get into a discussion because he's upset because the screen does not look the same way does it look wet in our video. So let me get this straight. Because I paint a screen in the video and it's wet, and I told you when screens are wet, when we paint those black ones, they will come in darker, and as the screen starts to dry, it gets brighter. I've done this so many times on on live, it's not even funny. He's upset because he wants the screen to look wet the same way it looks in the video. You're not viewing the screen wet, you view the screen dry. When a screen is wet, I've always said in every video, when they're wet, they'll basically be shiny, number one, because that's going to be the projector reflecting off the wet paint. And then on top of that, it's a dark. You're going to have dark spots here and there, and when the screen starts to dry, it gets brighter. We've done this over and over again on demonstrations, over and over again. But he was upset because he wanted it to look the same way wet as it looked in our video. Explain that to me, how that's logical right there. So bottom line is, when people are telling me that, oh, it's the way he described it didn't make any sense. I said, send me pictures over. I want to see the projector on and off. I want to see the wall up close. Make sure there's no texture on the wall. I want to see the settings in your projector, model number of the projector. We asked all that up front. We need all this information. Let me see all these pictures up front so I can analyze, and I painted enough screens. I know what I'm dealing with. The minute those images came over, I was like, you got to be freaking kidding me. You got to be freaking kidding me. So in the images, which I'm not going to display at all, period. In those images, the screen was showing up bright reds. The colors were popping, the white levels were popping. Areas of the screen were dark because the screen was technically still wet. He just painted the screen and was complaining because the screen did not look the same way wet in our video as it looked in his video, wet. W-E-T, wet. You're not viewing the screen wet, you're viewing the screen dry. Oh, all right. And I sit there and say in my videos, which I had to send them I'm going to send them a bunch of links. In those videos, it says when I paint a screen, the screen will become darker when it's wet, and as it starts to dry, it gets brighter. I've done this on camera so many times, but he wants to look the same way as it does wet. I don't know. But to that individual, because of that frustration you just put me through, don't ever buy from me ever again. You are officially banned from buying from us ever again. Because I don't appreciate that nonsense at the end of the day. You want to have an argument with me because the screen does not look the same way wet as it does in our video? Okay. That's the craziest thing I've ever heard in my life. I've heard some crazy stuff. And you're going to get those particular ones. But that is the craziest thing I ever heard. You're upset because you want the screen to look the same way wet as it does in our video. Wouldn't that be dry? Wouldn't you be saying it would look dry in the same way in the video, not wet? And like I said, from the pictures I saw, and of course I painted these screens over and over again, those blots that you see in dark areas, any area where the screen hasn't dried yet, becomes... Do I have to do a video on this? Do I literally have to come up here and paint a screen wet and do a demonstration on a wet screen? Because, you know, this is just pretty much just downright... I'm not going to say that word, but you know what I mean. Really, seriously. I think at one point we got to start designing. We got to stay away from the complicated stuff and just keep things easy. Because come on. I got to start putting in disclaimers. And I'm going to start putting in disclaimers because I'll have somebody saying, well, this is the way you said paint. No, I didn't say paint that. Didn't say paint that. In every video when I do canvas, the first thing I say is you want to make sure you coat the surface with any form of paint because you want to make sure that the paint does not seep through and cause blots in your screen, which you will get blots. I know about that because I did it to myself. And from experience, I tell my customers, don't do that. Make sure if you're going to do any form of fabric, and it says it right there on the webpage website, you read through our policies, it says that if you're painting any form of surface that's a material, you want to make sure that you prime that surface first because that allows you not to get those blots. I need a lot of this. I should have had a bucket of this. I needed a bucket of this. Yeah, that was the discussion. I just thought that was out of the conversations that I have with some of my customers, some of the craziest ones. I've never talked about them, but I thought that was about the craziest thing I've ever heard. That was literally the craziest thing I've ever heard. You're mad because your screen does not look wet the same way it looks wet in our video. Okay. So what I'll do is usually when somebody tells me, well, it's projectors, that's why I have so many projectors. When somebody pleads that case, well, you don't have that projector, I'll go out and buy an older version of your projector and still make that thing look amazing on that screen. Let the screen dry first before you call me up and start fussing with me. And this is why I tell people want to go near the black screens. We explain to you. We only developed nothing but black screens. I did nothing but black screens, okay? Nothing but black screens. I do any other screens. We make other screen paints besides the black screen. We make a dark silver. We make a platinum eclipse. We got that new light screen paint, that ultra gray. We got that. So we got a little bit of something for everybody. If you're of a black screen, it's not to your liking. Say you don't like the black screen, it's not for you. You want something with higher white levels and good contrast. We got a screen called ultra gray. There you go. People will buy that paint. And then they won't like the contrast levels on it because they want the white levels. They want it coming off a white screen. Your eyes are not keen for it. And then you want to get mad because you want this and want that. And we explain to you, if you're coming off a white screen, you're used to seeing a white screen, your eyes might not be keen to that. All right, this is coming out quite nice. I'm going to have to cut me a hole in the side. I don't know which side I'm cutting a hole. I got to cut a hole inside. I want to get this done because I want to get this finished up so I can put my projector stand up and be done with this so I can work on my next project because I can't start another project until this one is completed. I even had one incident. Hermione, we make this stuff in 10 gallons at a time. We make 10 gallons at a time. We make a paint, we make a product. We got enough orders in black so the highest. So we usually make 10 gallons of that right from the door for the orders for the customers. So I had one customer come in and show me some videos of the screen he had. It was the same projector I had. I had the Optima 5600, same projector in the video. And I'm looking at the screen, I'm like, why is your screen so dark? And he says, well, we can't see it. The screen's dark, it's not picking up. And I was like, do me a favor, show me the settings in your projector. He had all the settings, especially the contrast pushed all the way down to negative, and that's why the image, it was past factory settings, and that's why it was so dark. So I asked him a question like, did you buy this projector online from somebody? Because usually if you buy it from online, that means you're buying the projector from somebody, if you bought it used, that already had it set to factory, already had it set to their settings. Usually most people, when they're selling off a projector, don't go in and set everything back to factory settings. They leave it in the previous settings that it was already in. So that's usually what I was asking. He said, no, I got a brand new. So if you got a brand new, that means everything in that projector should have been 50-50, and it should have been in factory settings, which means you moved your settings all the way down. I've done that demonstration a few times on a projector, how people do that. I know all the little tricks. I've been in the business for 10 years. I know all the little tricks. That's the same thing when people were exploiting Microsoft at one point because of the red ring of death. They were doing the gut swap. You ever heard of a gut swap before? Heard of the gut swap? If you never heard of that, that's another one people were using to exploit systems. Gut swap is where Microsoft had so many red rings popping up on their systems that they really didn't check the boxes. They didn't go in and open them up and say, hey, look, okay, we're going to plug this in and see if it's a red ring or not. They didn't really check at all. So what people would do is if they got like something like if you got a band on your account, you got an IP band. IP band is not hard to get around. You just have to have it's best that you have a business account. Well, I'm telling you something you shouldn't know. I'm gonna leave that alone. Never mind, just skip that one. You don't need to know that. Anyway, so if you have if you get a hardware band means you had something in your system you weren't supposed to have. Maybe you had something, you changed your firmware. Maybe you had a JTAG in there. You had something in there they found. And they didn't like it, and they sent you a little message that said you got banned for 99999999999 years. In other words, you got a lifetime ban. That's what you got. I got one of those. because my system was designed to read bootleg disc. And I came home, turned on my system, and I got this band that came up that said, hey, guess what? Your console just got banned. So a friend of mine came over and did a gut swap. Cause I'm like, Dad, going it like seriously? Like I gotta go. I live right across the street from GameStop, so I'm gonna have to take money out of my pocket, go and spend another $350 or whatever the time it costs, and get myself another system. He says, no, you don't gotta do that. I'll take care of it. So basically, he took my system and swapped, went through, and like I said, it's not a good thing. I'm not condoning it. Just don't do it. I wouldn't take apart the new systems anyway, because you'd be asking for it. Them systems are quite a little bit complicated than the Xbox 360, taking that apart. I think it was a breeze to take apart. So what they would do is they'd basically go to Walmart, and they would buy a brand new system, and they would go back and they would swap the system out. And then they would take it back and say, hey, look, the system red ring on me when it came up. They wouldn't even check it. They would mark it off with a marker and then send it back to Microsoft. And Microsoft would reimburse them, and they just basically just repair it, and just that's basically about it. Yeah, those are called gut swaps. And then usually what the person would do is he wouldn't even add in the controller because they would never check the box. And he would take the controller and mod it and then sell it on eBay as a modded controller and make a profit off of that. So, but I never did gut swaps. I just basically just modded my system out, just basically take it apart and modded it out, figured exactly how I can get a liquid cooling system to run off it, which was kind of virtually impossible because there were no bolts that connected the CPU to the motherboard. Some kind of spring system that they attached to it. So this is interesting. So as I'm doing this design for this, I just found out there's just going to be a third version of Oculus Quest. I just bought the second version, and there's a third one coming out, something called Oculus Pro. I'm gonna buy it anyway. I don't care. I don't care. I'm gonna buy it anyway. I'm probably gonna give mine away to my friend. She can have mine because it's brand new. I'm gonna give her mine, and I'm gonna buy the newer version of it. I hope, if you're listening, Mr. Facebook, please, for goodness sake, stick a fan on it. I think it's pretty hot on the inside. No use in giving us a sweat. They got a thing that you can attach onto it for catching your sweat. You need a little fan on that thing. That thing gets hot in there. Beer always gets hot in there. I think that's one of the plus sides that the PS system did. They basically are gonna their new system, the VR system. They're gonna put a fan in there. Very, very good idea. Very good idea. Because those suckers get hot. You got to sit in front of the fan with them bad boys. All right, so we're getting this pretty good in here. I'm going to get a rip in the side with too. So see if we can go a little better. We're just overlapping it, making it look really crunchy. Crunchy, 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 crunchy. Crunchy, 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 crunchy. All that corrosion. Look at all that corrosion. So much corrosion. Someone did not do a proper job of sealing this container right. Now there's going to be bio goo everywhere. Yes. Now we need to rip the case. It's right there. Bum, 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 bum. I feel like I'm frosting a cake right now. I know it looks kind of sloppy, but this is the way you have to do it. You want that whole corrosion look. You want those multi-bumpy layers of corrosion. You have to do it this way. It has to be messy. The messier it is, the better you come out. The better it comes out, the messier it is. If you want really deep grooves in it, let it dry, then go back over top of it with another light layer I'm gonna split my area right here. Well, I hope I don't hit one of the lights. I got lights all in here. Am I hitting any lights? Yeah. I'll know in a few minutes. Yeah, cut right here a little bit. Here we go. Got enough in there? Oh, it's clogged. All right, yeah, give me a minute. Oh, come on. None of these were running? Oh, here we go. Come on. So I think I must something stupid. This is where it gets messy, people. All right. Okay. Oh. Not getting enough out of here. So anywhere I put this stuff at, that's where that stuff ends up. That's the texture for that. Okay, I need to get inside of this. I need some more. Let me see. Here we go. Ooh, all right, got more than I needed. That's the boring part, people. For me, it's not boring, but maybe to you it could be a little boring. I don't know. Just trying to get this whatchamacallit to come out of this cannon. Not cannon, but you know. All right. What are we going to do today, boys and girls? We're going to do arts and crafts with Ken. That's what we're going to do. So today what we're going to do is we're making a nuclear reactor, a biocontainer. And this is going to be something we're going to be using for the stand, for our projector. Because in our world, we can't do things normal like everybody else. We got to be different. There's nothing wrong with that at the end of the day. So let me scrub my table down and get it nice and clean, because tidiness is everything. Without tidiness, there's nothing but complete chaos. So just want to make sure that your table's nice and clean, because remember, you eat over this. Making this an educational video. Now, if you're wondering about the whole policy thing, I mentioned that in the first beginning, but I wanted to add more to it, but I couldn't, because like I said, they only give you so many letters to do your write what you want to write in. Oh, I don't want this over here. Oh, heck no, it's just a freaking light stick. Light this thing up. And clean. Where's the other part of this? Okay, this goes in here. I forgot. That's already connected, so we're good. We don't need that running anywhere. Once that's dried, come back in, and we'll finish it some more. Oh, look at the crack in the side. Is that cool or what? Told you. Pretty cool effect. Just cut the box open. Just all that's going to have all that corrosion coming out of it. Everything's been freaking cool. Look when I get done with it. All right. So that's like I hate to say it, but that has to be broken up in multiple videos, because I gotta wait for it to dry, and then I gotta apply the paint onto it in different layers. So that's a lot of work. Crap, where's all the stuff that was over there? I mean, poke a few holes in it, so you can see where. Poke a couple of holes in it, small holes, so you can see where the radiation is just bubbling up inside. All right, I think I'm just gonna finish it up for tomorrow. I'm pretty sure you all got other things to do, so thank you for coming in and watching, and I'm gonna finish it up tomorrow. I'm not gonna do any more to that. Let it dry and then come back and finish the paint job. And then the whole thing will be done. I'll have it set up, and then I can do some more demonstrations off of it. All right, gotta go, and God bless.